The Arrowverse was arguably one of the biggest superhero franchises of the 2010s, and I would even argue that at its peak, which is like 2014 to 2016, it was more respected and hyped up than the DCU has ever been, with the sole exception, maybe, of the lead up to Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice, but that didn't really last very long, that peak that is, as things started to go downhill pretty quickly. We had Arrow Season 4 coming out, which it basically tainted Arrow's legacy forever, which it never really recovered from. Now people talking about Arrow don't really do so in a positive light, despite a majority of its seasons and the majority of the show actually being really good, including seasons 1, 2, 5, half of 7, and 8. Season 3 is not really that bad looking back at it, and while season 6 isn't all that great, for the most part, the show has more good seasons than bad, but its legacy and the internet's and really the world's opinion on the show was forever tainted by season 4. And this is even worse for The Flash, which has become a joke on the internet. The Flash, being even more popular than Arrow for the most part, has become the laughingstock of superhero TV because really it got worse and worse with every season. Season 1 and 2 are fantastic. Season 3 is, looking back at it, pretty good, but not as good as Season 1 and 2. Season 4 is not as good as 3, 5 isn't as good as 4, 6, although the first half is pretty good, the second half is god-awful, and Season 7 is absolutely unwatchable, and while Season 8 is a bit better than Season 7, it's still god-awful compared to the first couple of seasons, and The Flash at this point has become a joke of DC television and television in general, and these are the good shows of the Arrowverse. I mean, Supergirl and Batwoman were never good. Batwoman was panned right off the bat. I mean, it was awful from the beginning. Nobody really watched Black Lightning, and while Legend of Tomorrow definitely has its fan base, I personally haven't enjoyed it since Season 3. So it's safe to say that the Arrowverse has fallen since its peak, and while it was rejuvenated a bit with the Crisis on Infinite Earths setup and the crossover, but definitely more specifically the setup to it, the hype didn't really last for a day after the ending of Arrow, because ever since then the Arrowverse has been suffering a slow, painful death instead of what it could have done, which is going out with a large banger of an event like what Crisis on Infinite Earths could have been. Ever since Arrow ended, we got the final seasons of Supergirl and Black Lightning, and they're ending after Season 6 and Season 4 respectively, but they at least got told the next season will be the last. The same cannot be said for Batwoman and Legends of Tomorrow, and another CW show which maybe potentially could have been in the Arrowverse's multiverse in the future, which is Naomi. All three of those ended unexpectedly with unfinished storylines and cliffhangers, which they probably will never get resolved. And at this point, the Arrowverse really only consists of 3 shows: The Flash, Superman and Lois, as well as Stargirl, with the latter taking place on an alternate universe, Earth 2, but the Arrowverse was still alive at this point, and even giving us some good seasons of DC TV like Superman and Lois Season 1 and Stargirl Season 2, so it definitely felt like at this point that they're going for more quality over quantity, but that also didn't last very long, as even though they were alive, it didn't really feel like much of a superhero universe, as these shows were largely unconnected, especially Superman and Lois. I mean, like, Stargirl, you have the explanation of it being in a different universe, but Superman and Lois was supposed to take place on Earth Prime along with The Flash, but never really referenced any other superheroes aside from, I mean, there was one episode where Diggle appeared and he did mention Oliver, but, I mean, that was the only reference we ever had to anything outside of Superman and Lois on Earth Prime. And that is really what led to the final death of the Arrowverse on June 28th, 2022. Almost 10 years after it started on October 10th, 2022, the Arrowverse died on June 28th, 2022, with the release of the season finale of Superman and Lois Season 2, more specifically this one scene in the episode where Sam Lane said that he's seen other universes with its leagues of heroes, but that this world, meaning the world that Superman and Lois takes place on, they only have Superman, officially confirming that Superman and Lois doesn't take place on Earth Prime, and that the John Diggle and the character named Oliver he mentioned in Season 1 are alternate universe versions of those characters, meaning all the remaining DC shows on the CW are on different universes from each other. I mean, you got The Flash on Earth Prime, Stargirl on Earth 2, and Superman and Lois on an as of yet unnamed DC universe. These these universes are all in the same multiverse, so crossovers are still possible. So that isn't really the reason that the Arrowverse ended here. The reason is the reason behind why they separated this from Earth Prime. Why they separated Superman and Lois from Earth Prime is because they were told to by DC. So basically DC told the writers of Superman and Lois that they don't want Superman and Lois to take place on the Arrowverse's main universe anymore. They don't want it connected to the Arrowverse, which really signifies to me that they've given up on the universe, and that is really the main reason why I think that the Arrowverse is dead. Not because really all the shows are on separate universes, because that has been the case in the past. Supergirl was on a different universe, and that still led to crossovers, and even led to universes combining. But this is a different situation, as it's reversed, as Superman and Lois was on Earth Prime, but has now been separated. But also because it seems like Warner Brothers and DC doesn't want any shows connected to the Arrowverse anymore, so they've given up on it, meaning that, in my opinion, the Arrowverse at this point is dead. And if I'm being honest, I wouldn't really mind that. I do think that the Arrowverse has run its course. The fact that it lasted an entire decade is impressive, but I'd love a more complete and higher quality live action DC TV universe, and honestly, I think Superman and Lois could be a really good start to that. Even if it does have the same Superman as the Arrowverse in terms of the actor, I think that this can start a new universe where, yeah, Superman has been Superman for 20 years, and up until now there hasn't been any other superheroes, but I mean, we could confirm that there's been Batman, who's just a myth for the last 20 years, and that could lead to other things, other superheroes being introduced, and that leading to the Justice League in the Superman and Lois universe, and that's where the League of Heroes that Sam Lane saw in other universes begins. I honestly wouldn't mind that if they do all that on HBO Max instead of the CW. Focus on the stories and the quality of the content instead of the fact that they have to fill in 23 episodes for a season and they have to have a lot of drama to do so. I want better writing, higher quality CGI, and everything, all those sorts of things in a more complete DC TV universe that is maybe an upgrade from the Arrowverse. But as of right now, The Flash is the only remaining show on Earth Prime, which you might say means that the Arrowverse is still not dead until The Flash ends. However, I think that the Arrowverse as a universe is still dead, and the fact that The Flash is the only show left signifies that it's over. I mean, it's not a universe anymore, it's just a TV show. And when The Flash does end, most likely in the next season, which is season 9, and maybe season 10, that won't be the death of the Arrowverse, that will be the Arrowverse being buried in the ground, as the actual death came from the Superman and Lois season finale on June 28th, 2022. But that's it for this video. I know it's a bit of a short one, but I didn't really have anything else to say other than what I did. Let me know in the comments below what you think about all this. Do you think that the Arrowverse has run its course, or do you think that it was forcibly killed? Because there is an argument to say that it could have lasted a couple more years. And do you think that that is the actual death of the Arrowverse, or will it be when The Flash ends? Because I can see an argument for that as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and just for like a random comment, let me know what is your favorite season of the Arrowverse. Mine is still and probably will forever be Arrow Season 5. But let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, bye.